It's all covered in today's China Truths.
Did you ever imagine that sleeping beneath highway bridges would become a symbol of China's educated youth crisis? Yet in Shanghai and Wuhan, that's exactly what's happening. By July 2021, dozens of young adults, former factory hands, delivery riders, and fresh college graduates have been spotted curled up under concrete overpasses. They aren't homeless by choice. Some have been offered jobs paying just 8 yuan an hour. Others report monthly salaries of only 1,000 yuan from state-run employers, less than what a construction worker made decades ago. What began as isolated stories of hardship has snowballed into a full-blown youth unemployment crisis. And it's more than just a labor issue. It's a ticking time bomb for China's cities, society, and future. Is this just another economic downturn, or the unraveling of a generation's dreams? Let's start with the collapse of education as a ladder to success. For decades, the belief was simple. Study hard, get a degree, change your life. But in 2025, millions of young Chinese are discovering that their diplomas are barely worth the paper they're printed on. In Guangdong and across China's coastal provinces, job fairs now offer college graduates salaries that feel frozen in time, echoes of pre-reform China. Offers of 8 yuan per hour, or about $1 USD, are no longer rare, they're routine. Even positions at government-backed firms are paying only 1,000 yuan a month. The backlash is growing. Parents who invested their life savings into their children's education are asking, was it all for nothing? What was once a proud middle-class dream, funding college, sending children to big cities, is ending in despair. Job boards once full of promise now offer less than factory wages from 20 years ago. Economists trace this crisis back to a fundamental mismatch. China's massive push to expand higher education has flooded the market with graduates, while automation and the loss of manufacturing jobs have left them with nowhere to go. In tech-heavy regions like Jiangsu and Zhejiang, jobs that once welcomed new grads have vanished, replaced by unstable gig work and AI-driven systems. The result? A structural breakdown in the belief that education leads to prosperity. Today, in a society that once worshipped academic performance, young people are realizing that high grades don't shield them from poverty. In fact, being overqualified is now a liability. The fallout goes far beyond empty wallets. A generation that loses faith in education also loses faith in the future and in the system itself. Is this just temporary economic turbulence, or is it the start of a more permanent rupture? Next, let's talk about mass unemployment and how it's turning China's biggest cities into economic dead zones. In places once known for explosive growth, Shanghai, Wuhan, Shenzhen, and Jiangsu, the engine has stalled. Job postings have dried up. Factory floors are quiet. Industrial parks that once buzzed with activity are now laying off workers by the thousands or freezing hiring entirely. For years, these cities lured millions of migrants and new graduates with promises of security and upward mobility. But that promise is now broken. In Jiangsu's industrial zones and Guangdong's manufacturing belts, even minimum wage jobs are impossible to get. Assembly lines are full. Employers aren't just slowing down, they're shutting out new applicants altogether. And this isn't just a blue-collar problem. The glut of jobless now includes engineers, graduate students, and science majors, many of whom are now doing food delivery on e-bikes, earning barely enough to survive. A 12-hour shift might get them 100 yuan. Some crash in overcrowded dorms on the outskirts. Others sleep outside, hoping for any opportunity at all. A growing number, too discouraged to stay, are returning to rural hometowns, carrying debt, crushed ambitions, and a deep sense of failure. The very people who were supposed to carry China's future are now drifting without direction. This is more than economic stagnation. It's a national identity crisis. What happens when hard work, education, and loyalty no longer lead to a better life? China's job crisis isn't just about numbers. It's the symptom of a deeper breakdown in its entire economic engine. For decades, massive infrastructure projects and an export-driven boom absorbed millions into the workforce. But that machine is now grinding to a halt. As global markets cool and automation takes over, these once reliable job creators have stopped hiring at scale. Foreign capital is retreating, and domestic businesses are tightening budgets. The result? A massive traffic jam in the labor market, where graduates, skilled technicians, and migrants are all stuck behind the same red light. No jobs ahead. Forget the headlines, go to the bridges. That's where you'll find the real story of China's economic downturn. At 3 a.m., under the Yan'an elevated road in Shanghai, what you'll see isn't a protest or a camp. It's quiet despair. Men in their 30s, 40s, even early 20s, lying on flattened cardboard. Some cover themselves with garbage bags. Others have nothing at all. There are no tents, no shelters, just the hard concrete and the bitter truth. They've fallen through every crack in the system. These aren't lifelong vagrants. Just weeks ago, many of them were earning paychecks, delivering packages, stocking shelves, or supervising warehouse floors. But when layoffs came without warning or compensation, and rent was still due, savings vanished in weeks. There are no safety nets, no subsidized housing, no time to recover. Once you fall fast. Some spend the daylight hours chasing rumors of temporary work, loading boxes, sweeping construction sites, unloading trucks. Others simply wait, hoping a recruiter pulls up and offers them a lifeline. And no one wants to go back to their hometowns. Returning home without money is not just failure, it's humiliation. Just one more day, says a former logistics manager from Suzhou. One more chance. In Shenzhen's Sanheng market, the same story unfolds at dawn. Dozens line the sidewalks in silence, watching every truck, hoping it stops. In Hangzhou and Guangzhou, parking lots and abandoned corners become makeshift shelters for the jobless. A pot of instant noodles is passed around. A whispered tip about a factory still hiring spreads like wildfire. These scenes are multiplying, painting a haunting portrait of collapse, not loud or sudden, but steady and suffocating.
Let me show you who I was before debt crushed me. At just 22, I was already labeled a successful young boss. I owned a construction company and ran a 1,000 square meter clothing factory. I had houses, cash, and assets worth tens of millions. Life looked unstoppable until it wasn't. In the blink of an eye, I lost everything: my house, my money, and even my pride. Now, I have absolutely nothing, and I'm drowning in 4.8 million yuan of debt. Honestly, that was the darkest chapter of my life. At my lowest, I couldn't even scrape together 50 yuan. Not long ago, I sold off everything, every house, every cent, just to pay my employees and settle debts. I've been slowly trying to rebuild since then. I'm not ashamed to admit this. Right now, I only have a few thousand yuan to my name. In recent years, China's economy has been collapsing. Physical stores are shutting down like falling dominoes. In Guangzhou alone, the store closure rate has hit over 80%. That's not a rumor, it's a brutal fact. Many middle-class families are breaking under the pressure of crashing home values and mountains of debt. Let's talk about it. Just today, I got shocking news. 80% of physical stores in Guangzhou have shut down. What does that mean? It means 8 out of every 10 stores are barely holding on or already gone. Every day, shop owners sit and wait desperately for customers, but no one shows up. And when someone finally does, they snap a picture and go compare prices online. This is the age of the price war. E-commerce is killing us. Bankruptcy is sweeping through Guangzhou like a storm. Truth is, 80% of households here are on the edge of collapse. I'm not trying to scare you. But let's be real. Most people are just barely surviving. Think about it. If your cash and assets are less than your debts, you're broke. Middle-class families earning 20,000, 30,000 yuan a month look good on paper. But after mortgages, daily expenses, and supporting parents and kids, they've got barely 2,000, 3,000 yuan left. They live in fear of layoffs, one job loss, and boom, instant bankruptcy. For people like us, surviving on credit cards, it's even worse. These days, someone who can throw down 10,000 yuan in cash looks like a king. I've worked in Guangzhou's loan business for 60 years. I've met all kinds of people, rich and poor, factory bosses and employees. You know how many factory owners can pay 1 million yuan in cash to buy equipment? Almost none. Business is hell, and making money feels impossible. That's everyone's reality now. Just look around. How many hot shops are being transferred or sold off at bargain prices? So don't envy those guys driving Benzes and BMWs. Most are drowning in debt, refinancing again and again just to stay afloat. Brothers, I ran. I fled with over 40 million in debt on my shoulders. If life is crushing you right now, stop and hear my story. 3 years ago, I was a local legend, a boss with an annual output of 100 million yuan, the face behind Zhenjiang Dehao Automobile Company Limited. I was proud of what I built, but today I stand here as a failure. I can't take this life of endless debt anymore. So many so-called bosses are like me now, empty, broken, only debts left behind. We can't eat, we can't sleep. We lie awake at night, wondering how it all fell apart. Sleepless nights and creeping depression consume me. I forget my own words. I've grown thin and weak. This isn't the life I imagined. Born in the 60s, I once owned several companies, including a 10,000 square meter auto dealership in Zhenjiang and Chint Electric. I built an empire, only to destroy it with my own hands, recklessly investing in one failed project after another. The old saying goes, 10 years to rise, 1 night to fall. Now I understand. Every day feels like a battle, and peace of mind feels further away than ever. The old clothing industry never imagined it would survive the pandemic, only to collapse in the heat of this summer. Once, there were peak seasons and off-seasons. Now? Just one long, endless off-season. Watch how the so-called middle class crumbles into the grassroots. A young couple in Guangzhou watched their 10 million yuan home drop to 7 million in just 3 years. Over 3 million yuan? Gone. They've stopped paying the mortgage. Recently, a woman shared online how she and her husband went from being a model middle-class family to completely bankrupt. Her story was devastating. She works in a neighborhood office. The income is modest, but at least stable. Her husband used to run a small company, earning 300,000 to 400,000 yuan a year. They married in 2017 and scraped together 400,000 yuan for a down payment on a small 3-bedroom in Panyu, Guangzhou. Life was good. Their son was born the next year. Her in-laws were overjoyed and helped raise the child. It was a happy time. Back then, property prices soared daily.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.